What do you like to do most in Magic the Gathering? Alright, one at a time. We're very glad that you had an answer, and if you didn't have one, this video was made to help you. To find a commander you love, you must first know what you love to do. A lot of players start enraptured by the art and never delve into the mechanics too deeply. But until you find a mechanic that resonates with you on a personal level, you'll need to experiment with a lot of different types of deck builds. If you play more, then you'll learn more. This episode is going to explore the 3 pillars of a commander deck's thematic design, which are the deck's flavor, the deck's harmony, and the deck's expression. We will not be going over any structural advice in this video, so if you need help building a specific deck, let us know in the comments and we'll dedicate an entire video just to you. As a species, we have adopted the belief that kindness is a weakness which the powerful must exploit. This is why so few of us can risk expressing kindness in any form with one another. But this is exactly why casual games are so important. Sportsmanship has no place in one-on-one games of life and death, but in spite of this, we still mutate it to express and even to value it. In order to be a good sport, we must use our will to overcome the base, self-serving nature of our wicked universe, which, while difficult, will result in a far more enjoyable experience because you've learned how not to enter a game with nothing but a win or lose mindset. Do not shy away from weakness, for that can be where your true self lies. As an example, we like to ramp. It is a non-invasive mechanic, meaning it only affects you and takes nothing from your opponent. Ramping also ensures an acceleration in your future turn actions by guaranteeing extra mana, so long as you live long enough to untap. Tristani, Selesnya's Voice is our only 2-color deck, and remains as our personal favorite deck that we've built. Tristani itself gives us the freedom to ramp, so long as we do so with creatures, by securing our life total through gaining life from seeing every one of our creatures enter. This allows the deck to function not in constant opposition of enemy intervention, but in spite of it. No matter what our enemy's board state is, we can always ramp and gain life. In fighting games, this is called neutral. In the neutral state, both you and your opponent aren't attacking or being attacked. In traditional one-on-one games, there is nothing to do but defeat your opponent, but EDH is a multiplayer format, so there will naturally be many points where no one has any cause for open hostility. In these states, competitive decks tend to bubble out of control and begin moving quickly towards their win state, while unoptimized decks run out of steam during these points and begin to flounder. While very different, both of these decks can be categorized by having little or no neutral options. Commander decks, much like fighting games, need more than just footsies and supers. They need strong fundamentals and diverse neutral options. Through our trials and travels, we have learned that it is our life's purpose to unify our will with the primal spirit of the highest good, and to stand as a symbol of its might, that the weak can be inspired to grow and that the self-serving are rebuffed by our glare. This is why the colors and motifs of the Selesnya Conclave resonate so harmoniously with our own spirit. But we had to know our spirit's frequency in order to discover this harmony. If you've ever played Mother 3, then you know how hard it is to keep track of something's spiritual frequency. We feel the key to finding your own is through exploring the non-invasive mechanics of the game. Gaining life, cloning creatures, tutoring for cards, placing buff counters on your creatures, and ramping are all merely a few non-invasive ways to consolidate your deck's power, and none of these are even color-locked. Karlov of the Ghost Council, Lazav, Demir Mastermind, Prime Speaker Xanathar, Skullbriar, and Mina and Din, Wildborn, all offer you a passive ability to utilize every turn, regardless of your opponent's interference. Compare this to their opposites. Lyessa, Shroud of Dusk's Life Drain, Xanathar, Guild Kingpin's Spell Theft, Prime Speaker Zagana's Massive Draw, Hapatra, Visor of Poison's Debuff Counters, and Atali, Primal Conqueror's Hyper-Competitive Nature, all draw ire from the entire table, or at the very least whoever got targeted with them last. The non-invasive legends are each valued by different kinds of decks, but as you might have noticed, they do very little in terms of closing games. This is not by accident and cements our feelings, which is the best legends are always the ones which function as a piece of their deck, rather than a central engine that keeps the deck operational. What makes these weaker commanders bad is that they require a lot of work on the deck's part to get any big value, while offering very little in return. Compare that to good commanders, which can begin winning games the moment you resolve them. So, why should you play bad commanders? Self-imposed challenges, of course. Why do you think YouTube is full of challenge runs? Because that is how someone who has mastered the conventional game mechanics chooses to play. When you play more, you learn more. As we mentioned in our first Card Kaiser video, our self-imposed challenge with Tristani is to have it built with all permanents for the sake of Primal Surge and Genesis Wave. Outside of this deck, we abide by many self-imposed regulations in both deck design and the types of decks we build. As an example, we only have 6 decks, and of our finished decks, all are 3-color, and none can repeat too many colors or themes. This means we only have one deck focusing on ramping, counters, combat, enchantments, and artifacts. There is some overlap, but the idea is to keep each deck unique, and to avoid playing with the same cards in every deck. It organizes our thoughts better, yes, but it also makes the deck more us. We have seen many players build decks where every card art features a particular kind of object, and decks centered entirely around a specific keyword, and these are, by far, always more memorable than another Simic Value Engine or another Azorius Blink deck, because there's simply more heart put into the former pair. They were built by people that knew what they wanted and did whatever they could to express it. Also, when we say self-imposed challenge, we mean self-imposed. We would never force others to play with our personal limitations, because house rules are whack. In our experience, house rules aren't about keeping a meta non-toxic, but instead they are used to keep a meta of toxic people more level. Now, as cruel as it sounds, we truly feel that these kinds of people, those that disgrace the casual nature of the format, don't deserve enjoyable matches with fun and creative people. CEDH is a form of hell which these people all inevitably siphon themselves towards, we feel. House rules force limitations, but we feel that when you play more, you learn more, and that new players need the freedom to experience whatever it is that tugs at their heartstrings. Play with that mind slaver. Buy a bunch of extra turn cards. Build that mono-red chaos deck. Do whatever you like. Just remember that doing any and everything you can to reach those ends will likely isolate you from those whom we feel you should be treating with a lot more kindness, those being the ones tolerating your nonsense. Trying to win is important, necessary even, but doing nothing but trying to win is cringe, especially in a casual environment. There is just so much more to games than winning them. We know a lot of people don't care and some lack the social skills needed to care, but the few that do and couldn't see an alternative before, here's to you. All of this has been to talk around junk like arbitrary power level scales and pub stomping scumbags that don't remember how to have fun. We know that knowing yourself isn't easy, and deep down everyone is afraid of learning the truth, but those willing to find the truth are the ones who get to decide their fate. If you never know the lies from the truth, then you can't choose a path. You won't even know you're on a path. We ask that you fight for the truth. Even if it's frightening, we know you can do it. If you're ever scared, borrow the strength of those who will be there to help you. Think of everyone you're helping and let that be your strength. Before we started this channel, we would always feel so nervous that we felt like we'd vomit. But we began to remember all the people we've made happier with our silly little videos, and it started to get a little easier. If this is our last Card Kaiser episode, then they will remain as a testament to that which we tried harder than anything to accomplish. To inspire people to not take things so seriously, to have fun and to enjoy themselves, to play more and to learn more. We've been Rude Kaiser, the magnanimous madman-made monarch, hoping each of you remember that you cannot achieve greatness if its seed is not already planted in your heart. If there is a tomorrow for us, we hope to see you again once we get there. Bang!